Hello? Hello?
Good morning, everybody. We are having issues with Zoom at the moment, so our presenter doesn't have any sound. So we might have to reschedule this. We're trying to see if we can fix it really quick.
Can you
So
hear
just
me?
stay tuned. I do apologize.
Hello? Anything now, Laura? You guys can all hear me? Okay, perfect. Laura may not be able to hear me. So let me, you can hear me?
Yes, was
Hooray! Okay.
so they
I'm
could hear you, but I couldn't.
okay. But you can now. Okay, perfect. Because it's
Yay! Oh my goodness.
Friday. Okay, give me just 1 second. Now that we've got that all worked out, I just have to find I had to reboot, so I just have to find the presentation. So just bear with me a minute. Sorry, guys. At least it's working. That's good.
I know I was
I was freaking out. You
I
know
was
me.
freaking out too. I was like, what?
And it's my favorite one.
I know.
I LinkedIn. So, okay, I think I've got it up. Let me get back to Zoom.
All right, everybody, while she's doing that, just I wanted to go over, we are going to do our presentation today. There's going to be a lot of participants, so I'd like to keep all the questions in the Q&A and chat instead of doing any of the raised hand today. It makes things go a little smoother. Heather will pause throughout the talk to answer any questions once in a while. Otherwise, you can type them in and we'll get to as many as we can at the end. You will also get an email later today. I have another workshop today, so by tomorrow at the latest, that is this sorry. Oh, hold on. Somebody was writing a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry. Um sorry. We'll be sending you an email with the slides and the recording.
Perfect. Can everybody see the screen?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, Laura, you ready for me to get started?
I am ready.
Hooray! Okay, well, it didn't take us too long to get everything squared away. Thanks everyone for being here. I will be honest with you. This is one of my favorite topics of conversation. LinkedIn is just my favorite. So I appreciate you being here and wanting to learn more about that. I want to give a big shout out to SCORE and Laura in particular for always being so accommodating, even when my microphone seems to be kind of on the fritz. So that's all right. We got it all squared away. And I always look forward to doing these presentations on all things social media for small businesses. I too am a small business owner, so I know just how important this marketing can be. And I will also tell you a couple of caveats. First of all, I know that LinkedIn is probably not everyone's favorite platform, right? It's not the fun one, it's the more business driven one. So I understand that 100%. Secondly, everything that we talk about today is going to be in the no fee realm. So it is not LinkedIn premium. It is not paid social. This is all things that you get just with your regular profile. So it's kind of a 360-degree look at LinkedIn from a business perspective and how you can use it. So I'm going to dive right in. And at every presentation, I like to set everyone's expectation. So I like to talk about what social media isn't. Okay. This is going to contradict everything I just said, but it's not. So social media in general is not free. I know that it doesn't cost us anything to have a Facebook page or to have a LinkedIn profile or company page. We can be on Google My Business for free. Well, we can have a Google Business profile for free. But we're either going to spend time or we're going to spend money on our social media, right? We're either going to do it ourselves as the business owner and put on one more hat and take up time that we could be using doing something else, or we're going to hire it out to have somebody do it as a contractor or bring someone in as a social media manager. So I just want you to know we're going to spend something, right? And time and money can be a commodity that we don't have at a particular time. You know, when we're first starting up, money is probably the commodity we don't have, and we have time. And then as we get busier, time becomes the commodity, right? And we can actually spend some of that money to hire someone to do this for us if that's the way we want to go. A lot of people love doing their own social media, and I love that. Anybody passionate about spreading the word about their business and doing it the right way is a-okay in my book. Social media is not a flash in the pan. LinkedIn itself is turning 21 this year. Very exciting. Actually, it turned 21. It started in May of 2003. So it's not going anywhere. But I will tell you, every time I do one of these presentations, I have to update it because it changes on the daily. So there were different components that I needed to change for this particular presentation because LinkedIn had changed since the last time I had done it. And honestly, Laura can tell you, we did it just a few months ago. So this changes on the daily, but I promise you, social media is not going anywhere. So for those folks who have not jumped on board yet because they just think it's a passing fad, it's not. It's here to stay. Social media is not a replacement for your sales team, right? If you have people in sales that are out being your stormtroopers, you know, boots on the ground, you still need those people. Social media is just another cog in the wheel and another tool for them to help spread the word about your product or service and get those, you know, valued clients, right? This is just another thing that will help you add to your visibility, your connectivity, and help people learn more about, you know, the products you offer or the services that you offer. And this is my favorite, and it makes my heart hurt a little bit just because of the field I'm in. But social media is not your entire marketing strategy, right? This is not where we meet all of our best clients. There are still, you know, direct referrals. Some people are still doing, you know, direct mail, print advertising. I personally am a member of several chambers of commerce and trade organizations and networking groups. So this is just one way to get the message out about your business, right? So here is probably the least exciting part. We do lots of demographics on these things because you need to know which platforms are going to be the best for your business. I will maintain there is no one in business, and I mean from the ground up. I mean from that entry level position up to CEO, president of the company, who should not have a LinkedIn profile. Everyone should have one. And you noticed I said have one. I have worked with clients that have 4 or more profiles. That's a no-no. So we're going to talk just a little bit about LinkedIn in general. Oops. As I said, LinkedIn turned 21 in May. It is a fantastic platform. It has been around for decades. It's not going anywhere. And I promise you, if you're looking for the place where the money is, LinkedIn is your place. It is the most trusted social network in the United States. That holds a lot of water, right? Almost as important as this stat, but this is my favorite because this has just recently been updated. LinkedIn has 1 billion users. That's billion with a B. So I guarantee you, whomever your target market is, some of them are here on LinkedIn, right? It would be almost inconceivable that your target market is not here on LinkedIn. 40% of LinkedIn users change their job, company, or industry every 4 years. And why is that important to know? It's important to know because we need to be active on the platform to find out where our connections are, right? We get notifications. LinkedIn is proactive to tell us someone has changed positions. And you guys know that can be a huge deal. Either someone who was a really good contact for you has gone to another company and you have to take a look at where they are now, or someone has moved into a position that you may think, wow, that's a better fit for me. Maybe it's time to re-examine and have, reach out to them and have an appointment after they get their feet under them. Let them get into their position for a little while. But it's a great reason to reach out and say, hey, I saw you change positions. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing now. Let's meet virtually. Let's meet for coffee, whatever that looks like. It's an opportunity, right? Content creation on LinkedIn increased 60% in 2020. And why do we think that is? Of course, the big, pandemic, right? Everyone went to online because there were no other options. We weren't going out and networking because we couldn't, right? So content creation skyrocketed. And the great thing is, it has not gone backward. We've learned this is a great tool. We need to get on there and create content. So while, the pandemic was a terrible thing, it certainly helped us from a content creation standpoint and letting us know, hey, we have this other tool over here that we need to be more cognizant of using. And finally, 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn drive business decisions. That's almost always the person we want to be in front of, right? The person that can say, yes, I would love to buy your product. Yes, I would love to, engage your services. We want those decision makers, and this is the platform on which they spend their time. So we're going to take a look real quick at a LinkedIn profile. I'll be honest, I used mine because I have access to everything from the back end, and we can see what it looks like live time. Okay. So here's the header and about section. You want to make sure you have a nice looking header. The beautiful thing is I'm going to show you a tool at the end that you can use, either free or very low cost, that will help you make all kinds of graphics. And we'll get into that in a little bit. You want to make sure that you have a nice looking professional headshot. That means don't use your picture cropped out of the family photo. Don't use your picture at a concert. It needs to be professional, sized correctly. And by the way, it needs updated every 18 months at minimum, just because people want to know what you actually look like. For anyone who meets people off site and you're meeting in like a Panera or, some kind of public place, your picture should look enough like you that they can find you if they're walking into a restaurant and they don't know who you are. So I always use this tool if I'm meeting with someone just to get an idea of what they look like. I have met people that have completely changed their hair color. I have met people that no longer have hair, that have it in their photo. So every 18 months, you need to update this photo. Make sure your name's spelled right. You would think that goes without saying, but I promise you, I have seen people spell their own names incorrectly. And the reason is it's very hard to proofread our own content, right? We know what it's supposed to say, but somebody else doesn't. So have a friend or a colleague proofread your stuff for you just because they don't know what the next words that you were thinking were. And they can help you better determine if there are any typos or anything that needs updated. Your headline almost never should be your title. You can see I have different specialties that I have and that I offer as my headline. My position is lower down on the profile, but this is prime real estate. I want people, when they read my headline, to understand how I can help them. That's the only question that you're answering. Now, I promise you, LinkedIn asks you for your title. That's okay. Some people can answer that. But when I look at someone's profile, I want a quick hit on how I can either help them or how they can help me. So you always write that headline, only answer the question, how do you help people? It'll show you how many connections the person has, how many followers, so you can take a quick peek there. And then over on the right, it will show you people with similar profiles. I will tell you, Diane doesn't do what I do. I actually know her, but it's funny, the people that come up in that section, it used to be called other people you may know or something like that, but they've recently updated this. So this will give you an idea of people who have similar profiles, just in case you're looking for a person in a particular business vertical, position, that kind of thing. It's a kind of a neat tool. Then there's the about section. And I'm sure that there are people on this call, God love us all, we've been there, that only have a couple of sentences about what we do. Here's the problem. You need to jam pack this area full of information and keywords and search terms that can help get you found when people are doing a search online. I'm probably going to refer to it as Google. There are other search engines. I'm willing to bet. Well, I can tell you that Google has a 92% market share. So Google is the one. People are still using Bing. They're still using, other forms of search. I promise you, Google is Goliath and it's going to stay there. So you want to make sure that you've got enough verbiage in your about section that if someone is trying to find, on an example on mine is social media, you can see I can look really quick and see it's 7 different spots in here. Because it's basically, all I do, but also because I know that I've got a really good chance of Google picking that up. If somebody looks for social media Akron, I know I'm going to get found, right? This section is not the time to be brief. You can make it long, knowing, of course, that most people are probably not going to read the entire thing, right? I bullet pointed things. So I've got my primary paragraph here, and then I've got bullet points here to make it very easy for people to determine what I do and if I'm the kind of person that they would like to connect with, or B, hopefully want to do business with. I always put my contact information here just in case. Yes, there are other spots to put it, but it never hurts to repeat your contact information, right? How many times do we go looking, or somebody didn't put, they have their personal email on their LinkedIn, which happens, by the way, and there's a reason for that. But nobody has to go looking, right? It is right here. I make it as easy for someone to contact me as they possibly can. Obviously, they can message me on LinkedIn as well, but I just want to arm them with every tool that they need to get in touch with me. Your activity page shows just that, right? It'll show, how many followers you have, your most recent posts, and how recently they were posted. And then if you want to look at somebody's, posting history, you just click on show all posts and you can see everything that they've posted. So you can see, I posted 54 minutes ago, 22 hours ago, 2 days ago. I'm very aware of posting on LinkedIn. I will tell you, I am a B2B business, which means I am business to business sales rather than business to consumer. Someone like a store, a retail shop, a flower shop would be that B2C. People who are in a business to business field, LinkedIn should be your number one social media platform. And again, I realize it's not exciting and fun all the time. It is for me because I have seen the impact that being active on LinkedIn can have. And I love it. I'm all in. I drank the Kool-Aid. I love me some LinkedIn. So I post on there rather prevalently. As a social media expert, I know people are watching what I post. So of course I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm posting to my Google page. But for me, I spend the most of my time in the social arena from a business owner perspective on LinkedIn. My experience. People want to know what you do, what your title is. Here's the place to put that, right? Not that headline. We talked about that. Headline equals how do I help? This is where you get to brag on your experience, right? So you want to make sure that your most current position is on top or the most prevalent. I actually have 2, but this one is the moneymaker, right? The one below is a give back. It is not a paid position. I'm just an executive director of an organization. So I make sure the money makers up front, right? Most important, and probably where I want to have the most connections. So just a heads up there. Your education, licenses, and volunteering. Awesome opportunity. Now, when you're on LinkedIn, it's not the time to be humble. You want to let people know that you are the professional in your field. So you're going to pack this with as much info that is appropriate, right? Has to be true. I've seen people maybe bend the rules a little bit, but so long as it's true, it's great. So your education here, any kind of licenses and certifications, this is a time to let people know that you've got those. It makes a difference, right? If you are, someone who is a landscaper, and you're putting in here that you have certifications and things like, I'm making this up because I have no idea what they get certified in, but, different types of grass. This is the kind of thing that will set you apart from your competitors, right? I know that, Let's just call a spade a spade. There are plenty of graphic artists out there that literally just use a tool. They don't have any certifications. They've not gone through continuing education. But if I see somebody has, taken courses or they're doing continuing ed, I know they're very serious about their career. And that makes me more apt to A, want to connect with them, and B, if I need a graphic artist, I want to reach out to the one who is the most professional in their field, right? So this is a way to differentiate that. And then your volunteerism. Again, you never know. I have seen people get jobs, honestly, because I will give you an example. A gentleman that I know had listed on here that he was an Eagle Scout. That separated him from the pack because guess what? The person who was hiring was also an Eagle Scout. So even things that you may consider inconsequential can pay big dividends because you've put it on here and it resonates with either a potential client or a potential employer. Skills and endorsements. This one changes from time to time, but this will let you know what people are really skilled in and what they have been endorsed in. Okay. You can actually take skills quizzes on here that will let people know that you are well steeped in something. I believe the only one I took might have been, wasn't Excel. I'm trying to think. If I think of it, I'll let you know. I only took one quiz, passed it. If you don't pass it, I think you can not pass up to 3 times. And then you have to take a break and come back. I want to say either 60 or 90 days later to retake that skill quiz. The things that are listed below are endorsements, and all the highest that anything shows is 99 plus endorsements, kind of like your connections is only 500 plus that shows publicly. So these are endorsements from people who are either connections, people who know you, that sort of thing. And then here's the bigger list, industry knowledge. Yes. So it shows all of the again, the endorsements that you have, and it ranks it top to bottom, right? So you can see it starts at 99 plus at the top and goes down further. New business development, I have 41 people who have endorsed me, where at marketing is at 99 plus. So just know what that's about. Recommendations. I will tell you, I think this is something that is no longer used as prevalently as maybe it should be. I love reading people's recommendations because it gives me a nice overview of what it's like to do business with them, right? So you'll see here, these are the ones that have been received. You can actually access any recommendations that you have given, especially if you need to update them. A lot of times I have gotten, believe it or not, recommendations with typos in them or ones that have my name spelled wrong, and I'll reach out and say, hey, can you spell Heather with an A? I actually know someone who spells Heather without an A, so I understand why that can happen. But just so you know, you can access both of these here. This shows you who has given the recommendation. And then if you want to see all of them, there's a button there at the bottom to see all the recommendations that a particular person has. I will tell you guys, I cannot see the buttons up top to see if we have questions. So I know Laura is always good about letting me know if there are questions or comments or anything like that. So feel free to ask while we go along. You don't have to wait until the end. Chances are you'll probably forget. So please feel free to ask any questions. Laura, do we have any right now that need answered?
We do.
Oh, okay.
First one, is it good to put emojis in the headline? I've started seeing this recently and curious about what's behind using them.
It's just an attractor. You notice there were gems in mine with a name like Glitter Girl Media. It kind of ties in with mine. I would say use them, but use them sparingly and use them smart if you want to. Most people do not use emojis in their headline, I will tell you. And it is a newer thing, but I will tell you, there's no online benefit necessarily to doing that other than if you're looking at a list of people, are you going to notice my gemstone stand out? Probably. I know a lot of people use actual like geometric diamonds, not like the diamonds I've used. I've seen, I know a gal who does STEM workshops and camps for kids. So she uses computer emojis. So I don't think that it's necessarily a great search thing. It's neither, you know, six of one, half a dozen of another, but it can catch an eye, right? So just be professional about it. We don't need to use a whole string of emojis, and I've seen people do that as well. Just use them sparingly and smart, and I think it's okay.
Okay, how do you update and change incorrect information on your profile?
There are little, if you look up in the top right corner here, you see the little pencil. That's where things let you change and update. So anytime you are in a section, you're going to go to your own profile. That little pencil up in the corner is what you click on to go in and change any information.
Hey, I'm employed full-time, but also have an online retail site. Should I have two profiles?
No, the answer is always no, because you are one person. You may have more than one business, but you are one person. So you can list both of them in your profile. I know a lot of people, that's a sticky wicket because their full-time job wants them to, you know, I get it. One profile because it's super confusing for anybody searching for you. I'll be honest with you, it makes you look a tad unprofessional if you have more than one, because people either think, oh, well, they lost the password and they're, you know, they still have this account out there. You should always have one. I know people that have 4 different businesses that they run, they have one profile. So always just one personal profile, different company pages, naturally, but one personal profile. And we'll talk about the company pages here in a little bit. Anything else? Are we good? Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna,
sorry.
oh, you're fine.
I'm a B2B artist where my portfolio of projects is my number one selling point. Where would be the specific area to list these projects and companies I'm partnered with?
Oh, I don't know that, I mean, they would have to be in your about section. I don't know where the companies could be listed because again, um, you might be able to put their web addresses in your about section, but there's not really, you know, any partner section. We're going through every section that's available. So I would say probably in your about section would be my guess.
Um, here's what this person said. I'm not social media savvy. I set up 3 LinkedIn accounts under my name. How do I eliminate or combine them?
There is a merge option. You generally have to reach out to the powers that be at LinkedIn and let them know this is the one I want as my primary, and they'll ask you for the URL for that, and they will merge the other ones for you. So you'll lose all the content on the other two, but you will not lose the connections, is my belief. Those will transfer over to the main one. So just a heads up. Yes, I've seen, like I said, people with 4 or more, so I totally get it. But LinkedIn can help you do that. It may take a little while. They're actually the best platform about getting back to its users. I will tell you that hands down, having to contact all these people, but it can take some time because they're busy. Remember, 1 billion users. We're not the only one asking for stuff. So just a heads up there.
Do we request endorsements?
You can, and I have, and I would say because, and usually if somebody pays me a compliment, hey, your work is awesome. Thank you so much for optimizing my Google. And I might even say, hey, I appreciate that. If you've already left me a review on Google, would you mind leaving me a recommendation? And there's actually a button for that. So yes, if they didn't want you to do that, they wouldn't give us a button. So you can actually ask for a recommendation. Here's what I will say. If someone is a super busy person, you can even say, if you'd like some help writing it, I'm happy to do that. I don't think it's disingenuous to do that. You're trying to help them make it as easy as possible. But yes, you can absolutely ask for endorsements.
Oh, where would you put awards, Heather?
I don't know that there's a space for that. There used to be, and I think they've eliminated it, but you can, again, always list anything that it does not have another spot. You can make a spot in your about section.
All right, let's see. Oh, should I put my website address in my profile description words or let them find it?
Always put it in there. You're gonna hopefully set up a company page that will have it as well. But just like I had shared earlier, I put all of my information in my about section. So you'll notice my website is in my about copy. Put that website wherever you can. The whole point of social media, with the exception of LinkedIn, is to get people to your website. That's all social media does. It is not the sales tool that everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to put up a post and someone will buy from me. That is not what social media is designed to do. It is designed to help you build your brand and get people to your website. Because I'm going to tell you, on LinkedIn, there are 1 billion people, right? There's 1 million people that do what I do on LinkedIn. Guess how many people do what I do on my website? 1. So if somebody is going to make a buying decision and they are on my website, guess who they're going to buy from? It's a beautiful thing. So all social media is arrows pointing to your website. You put that website everywhere you can without looking obnoxious. And sometimes we walk that line, but yes, you can absolutely put that in there.
All right. I mean, we have a lot of questions. Do you want to keep going or?
Let's do that because I have a hard stop at 10.
Okay.
But I tell you this, you guys will all have my contact info at the end of this presentation. You can text me or email me, and I promise if I don't have the answer for you, I will get it for you. It happens a lot, and especially some people literally think of the question they had 20 minutes after we get off the call. I'm happy to answer. That's that's part of the fun for me is addressing any kind of questions you have. We'll try and do as many as we can at the end. But also know that you can reach out to me anytime. Doesn't have to be today. If you get in there and start tinkering around and you have like a technical question, you'll have my contact info. Please use it. Laura will tell you, I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I'm here to help. So you can feel free to ask whatever you like. Now, if someone asks, will you redo my LinkedIn profile? That's a little bit steep, but if you just have technical questions or if you want to know something, that I can help with in the immediacy, I'm happy to do that. Absolutely. Okay, so the interest section are basically people that you're following. And I don't know if you guys are steeped in social media, you know who Gary Vee is. I follow him because he's always got, some interesting stuff to put out there. Brene Brown, awesome. So I follow them to make sure that anything that they're posting, I see in my feed. You can also, there's what it looks like when it's a top voice. There were headlines for other options as well. You guys are going to want to keep this out of the presentation. This is how many characters you have for everything on the page. So your headline, and I'd say stick to the 220 for the headline because it'll fit on desktop and mobile, but you've got all your character limits here. And that is a 2023. I don't think anything has been updated. So just a heads up there. Now it's all great. We have our profile. We're going to build our business with LinkedIn. What does that look like? How do I build my business on LinkedIn? Find connections and targeted clients, right? This is awesome. Basically, people can just use LinkedIn as an electronic Rolodex. I don't suggest that, but it can be used just for that. So you're going to make sure that you're connecting with all the business professionals in your network, right? So you want to get connected. Post valuable content, valuable to the reader, not necessarily to the business owner, because it's two different things. I work with people all the time putting together their social media strategy for them. And they're always like, I need to say, I need to say, I need to say. I have to put my hand up and say, wait a minute. I understand that you're passionate about your business. You have things that you want to say. Take this in the softest, kindest way. I mean it. It doesn't matter what you want to say. What matters is what they need to hear, right? What does the end user need to hear to have them click through to your website, to have them pick up the telephone, to have them reach out on LinkedIn and want to meet with you? It's about the end user. Even though we're writing about ourselves in our profile, we need to make it about how we help the end user. So make sure you're posting valuable content and being a resource for your network. Join groups and leverage them. This is one of the best tools in the world because sometimes we have those connections that we just don't know anyone that's connected to them. Excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. Or we can't get them to be anything but a third level connection, right? First level connection, we have a direct connection to. Second level means there's somebody in the middle of us, right? So I may know Sue and Sue knows Frank. So I'm connected to Frank as a second level connection. The beautiful part of groups are if you join a LinkedIn group in which someone is a target connection, if you're in a group, you're automatically you can contact them just like a first level connection, even though you're not connected to them. So it's an awesome tool that is way underutilized. So be active on there, join those groups. And by the way, keep posting in those groups, right? You want those folks to think you're the expert in your field. That's the way to do it. Set aside time to work on LinkedIn. This should be an appointment on your calendar that you block out every week. Notice I said every week. Here's the funny thing. Out of the 1 billion users that are on LinkedIn, only 3 million of them are posting on LinkedIn weekly. That puts you in a huge minority, and it's a minority you need to be in. So make sure that you are prepared. You're earmarking that time to be on LinkedIn. So finding connections, go through that stack of business cards that's on every desk. We all have them. Make sure you're connecting with them on LinkedIn. Tell them where you met them. This is the time to connect with absolutely everyone that you know in the business arena. Ask your connections for introductions to target clients. If you can see that they are friends, ask them to introduce you. I have people ask me for introductions all the time, and I will be 100% honest with them and say, hey, I'm connected with them, but I don't really know them. So probably an introduction from me won't help you. But if it is someone that I have a relationship with, I'm happy to do that and make that introduction for them. Learn to use the search function on LinkedIn. You can search by title. You can search by company. You can search by the groups that they're in, jobs, the schools that they're involved with. It is an awesome, awesome tool. And again, very underutilized. Here's what your manage my network looks like. So you'll see your number. Here's the big ones that I tell people to keep an eye on. Number of connections, your number of contacts. And people always want to know, what's the difference? Contacts are someone that you've actually reached out to or messaged or has messaged you. Connections are those that you've sent a connection request, they've accepted it, or they've sent a connection request and you've accepted it. Your contacts can also be imported from a different source. So it's maybe not necessarily someone that you've messaged on LinkedIn, but you've imported your contacts from whatever, MailChimp, whatever that looks like, right? And then I tell people, keep an eye on your groups, right? I think you can have, it's either 50 or 100 groups you can be a part of. That has changed. So just keep an eye. It'll tell you when you max out, but you should be joining lots of groups, right? Posting valuable content. You're going to want to post content that will establish you as an expert in your field. I post social media tips to help people. Hey, if you want to do it on your own, I'm here to help you. Here are some ideas to make this an easier task for you on your task list. It helps people know that I know what I'm talking about. It lets them know that I'm here to help them. It's a great way for me to, A, remind people what I do, but B, help them if it's something they can do on their own. And I'm happy to do that. Post consistently. This says over 722 million. I need to update that for sure. Our scrolls can go super fast. I will tell you, my mom's on LinkedIn. She maybe has 100 contacts. I have over 5,000. So my scroll moves a whole lot faster than hers. If you want to get seen, you exponentially increase the opportunity to be seen the more active and consistently you post. Post professionally. LinkedIn is not the platform to take that quiz about what kind of potato are you, right? This is a professional social media site and should be posted to accordingly. This is the same deal as your Google business profile, right? This isn't the fun bells and whistles or the cat ninja videos. This is professional Facebook in a suit at all times. Here's a LinkedIn post that just shows you you can tag people. I will tell you, we're going to talk about Canva in a little bit. I actually did a post. I was up to my 6,000th design on Canva and I tagged them. The post went crazy. I had a lot of people follow me. I had Canva actually reach out to me and tell me what a superstar I was, which just made me smile because I'm the biggest Canva fan in the world. But on here, I tagged Google. You can tag companies on here if you are doing a post about them. Most people don't take the time to do this. I promise you it makes a difference. You can also use hashtags on LinkedIn. They are indexed and searchable on LinkedIn. They are not indexed and searchable on Facebook. They are on Instagram. So you can use hashtags on here. Which begs the question, what is a hashtag? And we're going to buzz through this pretty quick. Basically, a hashtag is a file folder. Every post that has a certain hashtag in it is saved under that hashtag so that it can be gone through. So it's the file folder that holds everything. If I type in Glitter Girl Media into a hashtag, which I always use on my posts, they are all in one spot for me to search, right? For instance, social media marketing, that hashtag, when I searched it then, 364,000 people were posting about it. I wanted to make sure that I have it in my posts so that if anybody is looking those up, it's an opportunity for me to get seen by people I wouldn't normally. And I'm going to buzz through these because you'll have them. But using hashtags can help you gain followers, increase your engagement because you have more eyes on your posts, support social issues. Remember the Me Too hashtag, hashtag Thin Blue Line. It can show support for social issues, hashtag Juneteenth, hashtag, Pride, whatever that may be. You can show your support for social issues. Can add context to a post. The example I always give is one time I was walking through my house, tripped on a Monday morning, spilled my coffee all over the floor, took a picture of it, put it up and said, yep, it's definitely Monday, hashtag bad hair day. It didn't have anything to do with anything, and I didn't expect anybody to search it, but anybody who read it knew exactly what I was trying to say about my Monday. So just a heads up there. And also help your target audience find you. If I'm on Score and I've seen that they've hashtagged Akron, I know that they are now in front of every single person that keeps an eye on the Akron hashtag. So just a heads up there. Now we get into the company page. It shows how many followers you have. Boy, this needs updated. What hashtags I'm following. You are, when you set up your company page, they request that you follow 3. Those are the 3 that I follow, and you can see how many followers those have. Pretty prevalent hashtags for sure. Here's a post. It shows you when it was posted, the content, all that kind of fun stuff. And if you want to invite connections, here's the button to do so. If you are considered a LinkedIn creator, which I am, you get 250 credits per month. If you are just a regular user, you will get 100 credits per month to invite people to follow your company page. Here's the rub. They have to be people with whom you are connected on your personal profile. So you can't go outside your particular network and invite people. These have to be people with whom you are connected on your profile. Invite them to follow your company page. Sometimes company information will be different than what's on your personal profile. But remember this, if you're going to put your time in, people connect with people on LinkedIn. So you always want to post the best, most relevant content on your personal profile. Yes, you can post the exact same thing on your company page, but just remember, people are looking to people on LinkedIn. So I want to make sure my content, and by the way, the likes on your personal profile are going to blow away the likes on your company page, just so you know. So just a heads up there. And then you can see your analytics. What's happened? How many times have you been in search? How many unique users have come on your company page? You can see all of that at any given time, live time. Already went through those. Custom clicks that go through on my button that say, learn more, whatever that looks like. It's fantastic. Company page posts can be from here to there, right? Social media tips, places that I'm speaking, national days, so long as they're professional. I love doing small business shout outs for, small business partners. Either they have a product I love, which Julia Bell's has the best seasoning ever, and they're right in Akron. I love giving a shout out and putting the attention on someone else. You can see there that I did tag Tanya in the post. I put her website in the post so that anybody who comes across my content will have the opportunity to go to her page and learn more. Join groups and leverage them. So we've already talked about why do you want to join groups? You get to establish yourself as an expert if you're posting, and you have access to folks that you would normally not have by way of being in the same group. It's awesome. If you can't find a group that meets your needs, you can always create one. Just remember, you have to find the people that will join the group. You can invite people. People will come across it, but I will tell you, those are very hard to gain followers in. So don't just kind of willy-nilly start creating. I would say if you can find one that's already established, I would do that. But if you need one in particular, or if you want a private group, you can also start that on LinkedIn. I'm going to buzz through these. These are just facts. You don't need me to read them to you. They will be in the presentation for you. I want to concentrate on the fun tools and things like that. Here are the LinkedIn groups that you can be part of. It shows your groups. You can show the ones that you've requested to be part of. And you can create your own here, right? Set aside time to work in LinkedIn. I implore you. And by the way, this should be every social media platform. Create an appointment in your calendar and stick to it. It is easy to create that block of time in your calendar. It is not easy to stick to it when you are a business owner who has clients who are calling, who has prospects that are calling, who has to deal with employees. That can get sidelined. You cannot get sidelined when it comes to social media. You can't throw up a post every month or two and think that you're going to get any traction. You're not. It needs to be done with consistency and creativity. If you cannot do that on your own, there is no shame in that. It means you are busy. That's a beautiful thing. Hire someone to do it for you. Do not have an intern do it for you unless that intern knows your business inside and out. Remember that interns are people who we have in our business to learn from us, not to be the face of our business. A lot of people say, oh, interns are young, they'll know how to do it. I promise you, interns don't necessarily know how to do marketing unless they are marketing trained. Just doing social media is enough. There needs to be a sales and marketing strategy behind what you're putting out. It's not just spray and pray, right? We're not just throwing stuff out there and hoping something happens. I have friends who will tell you hope is not a strategy, right? You need to have a plan. Social media is no different. So the first step in that plan is booking that appointment with yourself and sticking to it. Write down your goals on LinkedIn. Do you want to have new connections? Are you looking to update your art? Whatever that is, have your KPIs, your key performance indicators in mind before you even sit down to get started that particular week on LinkedIn, right? Know what you're trying to accomplish. Then you'll know if you reached that goal. If not, it can go back on the list. You can try again next week, right? Or whenever you have time. Find an accountability partner. We all know another small business owner, and we all should be on LinkedIn. Reach out to someone and say, hey, we should be doing this more. Let's be accountability partners. Let's hold one another accountable to do what we're supposed to do to make our businesses more successful. I get this question all the time. Great. I have content. I'm not sure when's the best time to post. Here's the big secret. Are you ready? The best time to post is when your target market is active on LinkedIn. Okay. There is no secret to that. It's whenever they're on the platform. The example I give is if you are on LinkedIn trying to reach teachers during the school day is probably not the easiest time to get them, right? But I will tell you, there are easier ones and harder days to get a hold of people. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are fabulous. Weekends and after work hours are the worst times on LinkedIn because people kind of mentally do that, Fred Flintstone punching the clock and sliding down the dinosaur. They're out when it's a business thing, right? They're going to be back on there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, typically. Not always, but typically. So best times, they say 10 to 11 a.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So just a heads up. This, by the way, is only a guideline. Doesn't mean it's true. It just means that's what they say. How often should I post? Another question I get a lot. Another big secret. A business should post on LinkedIn as often as its market will bear. I always use this example. I have a gal who had me do a social media audit for her. We went out, we looked at what she was posting. We looked at 3 of her competitors to find out what they were posting so that we could have a formulated social media strategy that told her this is what platforms you should be posting on, this is how often, here's the kinds of content, this is what the post should look like, that kind of thing. One of her competitors, honest as the day is long, was posting an average, this is just an average, it could have been more, maybe a little less, of 27 times per day. Per day. I don't know about you guys, but I don't fancy myself that interesting. However, I let her know this is the exact picture of what not to do, which is why people do an audit. They need to find out what they should be doing. The answer was that was not it. Her market would not bear that. This particular person had over 30,000 followers. And when she would post, she would maybe get 1 or 2 likes. Her market would not bear her posting that often. No market, by the way, would bear posting that often, right? It was like, people were wanting to take a drink of her brand and she was opening a fire hose. People didn't even know where to start liking her stuff. So that was unfortunately a mistake on her part, but it was a learning lesson for my clients. So was glad we got to come across that. I would say Shoot for posting once daily, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you fall a little short, that's okay. You're still in that minority that posts at least once per week. Go for quality versus quantity. It's not about just how often you post. It has to be good content when you post too. So quality will trump quantity every single time. And then keep an eye on your results. Are you getting more likes and comments if you're posting more often? Probably, because you're going to be in people's feeds more often, but keep an eye on your results for sure. Here's a question. How do I get it all done? How do I post on LinkedIn? I need to post on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Instagram too. And yes, you need to post to your Google business profile. How do you get it all done? You create a social media posting calendar and automate it. You put in everything for the month all at one time. Here are some scheduling platforms that you can use. I believe each of them has a no fee component, but it may be limited. You may only be able to do a certain number of platforms. You may only be able to post a certain number of times per week. You may only be able to schedule it a couple of weeks out instead of a month. It will have limitations if it's free. Sometimes it's not super costly to upgrade, so always check into that. I used Hootsuite for a while. I actually use a different platform now because I manage over 200 different social platforms, and Hootsuite was pretty costly at that level. So just go out there, do some research, and find out what works best for you. Here is the best tool in the world if you are not already creating beautiful graphics on your own. Canva is awesome. It is an unbelievable platform specifically for graphics. And I mean, you can create everything from your social media graphics to a flyer or a rack card or a business card or a website, a whiteboard, a website, anything you can think of in the design realm, they already have templates for. It's already sized for you. They've got a ton of pictures in there for you to use, zillions of fonts, colors. They have AI tools. It is a fantastic platform. The beautiful part is you can use it for free. Now, you don't get all the bells and whistles for free. And I'm that gal who wants all the bells and whistles. $119 per year. I'm telling you, you're talking less than what, 15 bucks a month? Not even. I promise you, there is never a happier day as a small business owner in the year for me is the day I plunk down that $119. I absolutely love it. I've said this before and Laura's heard me say it. I will get a Canva tattoo if they're giving them out. I love that platform that much. If you have teams up to 5 people that you also want to have access to this tool, it is only $300 per year for the first 5 seats. And the very fun thing is, if you work for a not-for-profit organization, you get all the bells and whistles, Canva Pro for free. You have one form you need to fill out. I've never done it. My business is a for-profit business, but it's my understanding that it's one form. Take you maybe 15 minutes, probably not even that long. Something to look into, right? And look at this. LinkedIn banner right on there. I will tell you, the LinkedIn banner is sized incorrectly. So just a heads up, you might have to monkey with it. So you create it, you go in, if it was too tall, too short, you just go in and monkey with it. Okay. There are zillions of templates in here. Look at virtual Zoom backgrounds. Awesome. Take a peek at Canva if you've not yet looked at it. All right. That's all I have. I promised you there was information in here to contact me if you had any questions. If you have time and you would like to schedule, I always schedule a free 30-minute virtual coffee with anyone, any business owner, just to learn more about your business, answer any particular questions you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be on LinkedIn. I'm constantly scheduling and I'm happy to meet. I usually meet via Zoom. I know this is a national platform, so we can meet via Zoom. And I would love to talk with you about your business. And now I have till 10 o'clock to go ahead and answer any questions that you guys have.
All right, Heather, my question is that I'm part of a franchise. My corporate marketing team posts regularly. How would I repost their content, but under my company page, other than reposting it?
That's the only way to repost it, unless you actually copy paste it in. And reposting is fine, by the way. It still counts as a post. So I don't reinvent the wheel, right? If I wanted to share something from SCORE on my page, I would just share it. right? I'm just going to share their post. So there's no sense in having to redo it. I will say a lot of franchisors do post their own content as well that will work in tandem with what comes from corporate. It gives you your own flavor. You have your own market, right? I work with franchisors to put together content specifically for their particular location. So don't think I just have to use the corporate stuff. You can incorporate more localized, flavorful content for your particular franchise.
How should we use video on LinkedIn? YouTube is probably not a good idea.
You can absolutely do a link to YouTube. Just remember that takes people to a different site. Not a big deal. And you should absolutely be using video in all of your social, 1 minute or less. You do not have longer than a minute. So a link to YouTube is great. If you have a thumbnail that's only a few, 30 seconds long, that's fabulous. And then you can send a link to, or put up the link to the entire video. You should absolutely be using video. 48% of or posts that have video are viewed 48% more than those that don't. So it doesn't mean every post should be a video, but it should be part of the mix.
How do I handle professional changes because of retirement into a totally different business?
I would say, when you put it under the particular position, you can say retired at the end, whatever the title is, comma, retired. And then if you're doing another business, that should be that top listing there under your employment and your experience.
For posts, if you're creating blogs, long form content, is it better to post directly to LinkedIn or to your website? I'd prefer to keep my resources on my website, but I've heard LinkedIn doesn't like links in posts.
I've never had an issue with links in posts. It may affect the algorithm a little bit, but you do not want to put any of your proprietary content on just a social media platform. That needs to be housed on your website because it is the only piece of collateral that you have 100% control over, right? Tomorrow, LinkedIn could decide there are no blogs allowed on here and everything is wiped out. You have no control over that, but you have 100% control over your website. So everything should be a backlink.
How do I become a LinkedIn creator?
I think it's just a designation that you select. And I think they have to, I don't know if there's an approval process. You know what? If you email me that question, I will find out where to send you for that. It's been so long and you only have to do it one time that I just have to go in and see, but I'm happy to answer that for you.
What would you use instead of Hootsuite?
Buffer's always a good one. People do love Sprout Social, and those are listed there. Mine is actually almost proprietary for folks that are social media managers, so you do not want to use mine. It is not inexpensive. So I would say check out those three. It's usually a good cross section, and you can usually find one that you find user friendly in those three.
What about Sale Navigator to acquire new clients?
Sales Navigator is not inexpensive. And I don't know about you guys, but free is my favorite price point. I promise you, if you keep growing your network, you should not need Sales Navigator. If you choose to bump up to that, you get a few more bells and whistles. Do the trial. There's a free trial and see if it makes a difference in your business. If it does, and you're like, wow, I think this is great. I want to make the investment. Then you can actually sign up to pay. Right. So, but give it a trial run. Make sure you're going to use it because again, it is not inexpensive.
So this one is, hi, I have a LLC for my psychotherapy practice, a nonprofit for social services. I also teach at a university. I'm wondering if I need to have separate LinkedIn profiles for each of these roles. Currently, I only have one profile where I wrote about all my roles.
That's exactly the way you do it. You have done it the right way. Again, if you take anything from this, you get one personal profile because you are one person. You can have multiple roles in multiple organizations, but you are still one person.
And then this question, if you don't have many connections, how are your posts going to be seen? Only through hashtags or?
No, it'll be seen in your, it'll still be seen in your network, but the secret is get out there and find more connections. And that means you need to be out networking in your business. That's what it means, right? do your research, spend your time, build up that network. That, I promise you, is the best way to get seen. You can also do paid LinkedIn. I'm not a big proponent of that because unless you have a huge budget, it doesn't usually move the needle the way we want it. So just a heads up there. Maybe
Um,
time for one more, Laura.
I
And
think I,
anybody else can email me again anytime. I promise you, I will be happy to answer anything you've got. And again, I encourage you, sign up for a virtual coffee. I do it every month with our users, and it's a blast. I have learned about more fun businesses than I ever thought I would learn about. So please feel free.
is the verify now feature safe and necessary? I feel uncomfortable with sending them a screenshot of the front and back of the question ended early.
No, I
So,
got it. I know what they're asking. Verify is safe. I don't know that it's necessary. I'll be honest with you and tell you I have not verified yet, and it's only because I haven't taken the time to do it. But no, I would trust LinkedIn with my info. Personally, I'm not telling you that you need to change your ideals. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Absolutely. That is definitely a personal preference. So
all right, Heather, thank you so much for the presentation today. Always good. Your favorite one, LinkedIn. Everybody, you will get the recording and you'll get her slides so that you have it as a reference. I appreciate that everybody was patient.
thanks, you
In the
guys.
beginning.
And by the way, my second favorite presentation is next month on July 18th. We're going to be talking about your Google business profile. That is a platform that every single business should be on. So if you can join us for that one, please do. It is awesome.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.